This is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor, as well as education advisor, coming live again from the city of Hamilton in beautiful New Zealand. And here I am, like every week, to talk to all you beautiful people out there in different parts of the world who would like information and services about education or migration to New Zealand. So, not a very good start. Starting with a bit of a cough today, as you guys would have noticed, who follow my work regularly. I seem to have some issue or the other constantly with my throat, but that's the reason I have this hot mug of tea or coffee always on my table when I'm talking to you guys. So anyhow, let's get started. As always, I'm gonna start by showing you my license. That's my license, which was there you go, issued by the government of New Zealand, one particular department called the Immigration Advisors Authority, which is a government department which was created to regulate the immigration industry, because there were a lot of the word is cowboys who were talking about providing information and services about New Zealand while not being adequately trained or being aware of what that process involves. So which is why they came out with this law called Immigration Advisors Licensing Act 2007. And for someone to get a license like that, you will need to do a course. That's the course I did. That was called the Graduate Certificate in New Zealand Immigration Advisor. It was very tough, but I kind of enjoyed this pressure situation, so I kind of did that. And then we have to undergo police checks and stuff like that. And then we also have to do every year without fail a certain number of hours, which is 20 hours of continuous professional development for us to be able to keep renewing that license. And as you can see, this license expires every year. And I don't know if you guys can see it clearly, but this license expires next year. And so I'll have to go through the renewal process again. And for that, I'll have to ensure that I've been, kind of keeping a clean track record, didn't get myself into trouble and get into any police cases and stuff like that, including things like speeding and, stuff like that. So I need to be very careful, and drunken driving is an absolute no. So, those kinds of things. So it does regulate the industry quite well, and which is the reason I'm glad all of you people out there come and listen to me week after week, because you're talking to somebody who has been professionally trained and professionally vetted by the government of New Zealand, and who is being vetted year after year to ensure that I'm up to the capability to be able to provide the right information and advice to all of you. So very cool. And so in my company at the moment, which is AJV Services, the two things dear to me, AJV, my company, New Zealand, my country, and of course my wonderful team and my family, of course, is also things very dear to me. But I hold both of them very, very dear to me, just like the rest of my team does. And in our company, AJV, we have three licensed advisors at the moment. There's myself, and there is Mary, who is our senior manager as well as a licensed advisor. And then there is Gisela, who is on temporary leave at the moment, but she's also one of our licensed advisors, very, very senior. And Gisela Combrink is somebody who's been in the industry for a long time. And very recently, one of my colleagues called Tulika Mehra, so she passed her first set of papers in the graduate diploma in New Zealand immigration advice, which means she can now go on and apply for a license, and then she will work under my supervision. And so we are hoping to churn out a licensed advisor every 6 months, so that in about a couple of years' time, we have a full-fledged team of people working here in New Zealand, as well as working back in India, which is where the bulk of our clients are coming at the moment. And I think about 85% of our clients are coming from India at the moment, and about 15% are coming from various other countries like China, Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan, the Middle East, UAE, Saudi, Kenya, Uganda, South Africa. We got some out of Europe as well, and then we're getting some out of North America as well as from South America. So, as a New Zealand-based company, AJV is really kind of ringing the globe quite nicely. And, as always, I'm assisted on these live sessions by my beautiful team of people. We are about 35 people, and then there is at least one person who is also based in the US at the moment. So, we're kind of really becoming that little Kiwi company, which is kind of slowly but surely encircling the globe and having a footprint in as many places as possible. with only one purpose, and that is to bring the best advice and information and services we can to all you wonderful people who would like to come to New Zealand on a temporary or on a more permanent basis. And that's what we are here for, because New Zealand as a country wants to attract both temporary as well as permanent people to come into the country. Temporary would include tourists and international students and other short-term work visa holders, and more permanent people will be those who would like to come here and set up businesses and become entrepreneurs, and in that process get a resident visa or make an investment in New Zealand and then get a resident visa, or are able to directly qualify for skill migration so that they can come and become a resident of New Zealand. And a lot of these temporary entrants like international students, of course, will go on to become mm, long-term residents, because the policy is also devised very beautifully, where you can study in New Zealand and then can work for 1, 2, or 3 years depending on what level of course you've done and then which city you have studied. So it's all beautifully set up, and New Zealand is trying its best to attract the best quality from different parts of the world, and we believe AJV is a part of that same effort. And I keep saying this very publicly in many places, in my blogs, in my live videos, and everywhere else, that as an organization for AJV, our priorities are four. Our first priority is to protect the interests of New Zealand. Our second priority is to protect the interests of our students and our clients. Our third priority is to protect the interest of our stakeholders like our institutions and ENZ and INZ and so on and so forth. And our fourth priority and the last priority is that we should be a profitable company. So for us as a company in AJV, our profits we make and the money we make kind of takes fourth position. But it is our belief that if we do one, two, and three very well, I think number four will take care of itself pretty automatically. Anyway, so that's been the kind of ethos about AJV. We are extremely passionate about promoting New Zealand, but we don't want to do it to everybody. We want to do it also to the right kind of people. Who would add that quality to this already beautiful place. So we are not here to cater to every Tom, Dick, and Harry who says, I want to come to New Zealand. We are trying, not trying, that is our stated mission, as to ensure that we are not dealing with the Toms, the Dicks, and the Harrys. No disrespect to anybody named those names, but called by those names. But I'm just saying, using a cliche and a slang term. So we are looking at very highly specialized students and migrants to come into New Zealand, and that's the reason our team is completely focused on quality for New Zealand, quality of our students and our clients, and quality for the institutions we work with. And we want to feel good as professionals as well in this industry, that we are working with students who will go on to become our friends, and we can sit and have a drink or a cup of tea or a coffee and have some good conversations, other than just studies and post-study work visas and resident visas and all. And I've been very fortunate to actually make a lot of friends from our student community. So anyhow, so that's all mm, the opening spiel that I've given. I'm going to move into a slightly more serious area, which is, I think, something that needs to be addressed very, very clearly. Is that unfortunately, over the last few months, there has been an incredibly long delay of visas being, approved for students as well as spouses as well as children, and this has put an tremendous amount of pressure on everybody all along the system. Let me explain to you why this particular thing has happened, because a lot of our clients are, we understand your frustration, and you're writing back to us and saying, oh, but we trusted AJV, to take care of our application, but now it has been sitting there for so many months, and my family is suffering, and we are suffering, and my wife is suffering, or our plans have gone for a toss because of this delay and all that. All my AJB clients who are still waiting for the visas, guys, I must implore with you and tell you that this was not a situation that we created. In fact, this is one of those very strange situations that has become so crazily bad that everybody is talking about it. The government is talking about it at the highest levels. The media is talking about it in New Zealand. Just go and type New Zealand visa delays into Google, and you'll get so many different articles which are being published about this particular problem that has cropped up. And so many things. So what could we do as a company was, I said, okay, let me go and meet the people in that particular office where this delay is occurring. So I actually got myself on a plane a few weeks ago, and then along with my senior colleague Mary, who is also a licensed advisor, we actually went to India and we booked an appointment with the head of the immigration department of the Mumbai branch of Immigration New Zealand, which is where most of the delays are occurring. And so we went and we booked ourselves for an hour-long meeting, and she was very, very courteous, and we were extremely grateful to her for giving us that time. And we started off, obviously she thought, oh, here's just another agent who has come to talk to us. But then, once we kind of went 10, 15 minutes into the conversation, I told her that we are all about New Zealand, that we are all about ensuring that good quality people come into this country. And because of the delays that are occurring in this particular office, it's putting a lot of pressure on everybody concerned. So, and she shared some insights. In fact, I have the slides that she shared with me, and yeah. So if you look at it, she said there was a 42% increase in applications in the Mumbai branch only from India in the last few months. And what also happened simultaneously, these are actually notes from that meeting, guys. Take a look at it. That's actually, that's official Immigration New Zealand logo there. And this is the notes that were given to me by the Mumbai office when I went to meet them, because this was getting crazily bad for all of us, because our clients have been asking us, where's my visa? Where's my visa? It's so many months. And there's one particular family which is close to breakdown because of, and they're saying, how come families are not important? How come we cannot be reunited and stuff like that? So we went and put forth all our concerns, and she said this is something that happened at such a large level that unfortunately it is taking some time to fix it, because two three things happened simultaneously at the same time. They changed the policy of the international students, where it became easier for international students to get longer work visas in New Zealand. So which means the demand for New Zealand as a destination went up very dramatically, especially in a country like India, which is where the Mumbai branch is based. At the same time, Immigration New Zealand was doing a reorganization, and they were closing down a few offices around the world, and they shut down the office in not shut down, but they kind of put only a small skeletal staff in the Delhi office. And that's the reason we are fortunate to have some of those ex-immigration officers now working with us in HAV, because suddenly they were looking for an opportunity outside of the department, and we said, okay, yeah, sure, if you want to come and join us, come join the party, because we are all doing, trying to achieve the same goal. So that's the other thing that happened. And so the policy change in the students happened. More people started applying, they started shutting down offices, so that came down. Mumbai office was still trying to recruit people, so there were not enough people to take care of that. And so somebody somewhere could not do this prediction properly, and because of this it has become such a gigantic massive problem that everybody is trying to fix it. So the head of immigration I met in Mumbai, she said they're absolutely on a war footing to get more people recruited and start addressing these things. And they're looking at it, and it's not even Mumbai branch's problem, fault rather. I mean, not problem, but fault, because they were simply not equipped to see this sudden surge and so many things happening all at the same time. So unfortunately, guys, it is one of those very crazy situations where it is beyond AJV, it is beyond your. And when we said, hey, look, but how about this particular case, she requested us, saying, please stop sending us emails. We are trying to work through this. Every email you send us saying update on this application is only going to delay the process further. So kindly give me your word before you leave that you will not send us any more emails. And that is the situation we are in right now. And thankfully, in the last few days, we've seen certain approvals have been coming through, and we are thankful to the Mumbai branch that they're beginning to process this application. So it is just simply out of control. Sometimes we are now, in AJB, we are getting bombarded by so many of our clients asking us this question day in and day out, saying, what happened to my visa? What happened to my visa? My family is suffering. There is a problem. I quit my job. My health is going down. We are like a pilot in a plane carrying a lot of passengers, which is all of you, of course. And then suddenly there is turbulence, and you guys are all saying, hey, look, because there's a storm outside the plane, there is turbulence, and you're all banging on the cockpit door and saying, hey, pilot, we are all suffering, we are all throwing up, so can you stop the shaking of this plane? And unfortunately, the pilot cannot control the weather outside the plane, and so he is trying his best to make sure all of you reach safely. We can't do anything dramatic like pushing it. And even after we were requested by the head of the immigration department of in New Zealand, in the Mumbai branch, told us specifically saying, "Hey, look, give us a break. Do not send us any more emails." So we are being respectful of that thing. And if you guys keep on saying send more up, please keeping them, please ask them. It's only going to end up in a decline for your case. And that is another thing we need to be conscious about. As we are in this very very delicate balance of where we have to deal with an government department of New Zealand, and we have to deal with the expectations of our clients. And both of them are, and like I said, we are practically like that pilot in a plane that is juddering and shuddering, but that's because of the storm outside, which we simply cannot control. So I'm requesting all my clients to be kindly be patient. I understand that this is not easy. It is a lot of mental torture. I have gone through this mental torture at least twice in my life when I applied for visas to other countries. And I know the kind of anguish we can go through, especially when young families are separated. But guys, like I told you, there is absolutely nothing in our control at this point. All I can request is be patient. If required, you write your own emails from your side directly to the immigration website. In fact, I mean, New Zealand is such an open, transparent country. You can even send an email directly to the immigration minister of New Zealand saying, look, this is my family situation, but we have been requested by a government department not to keep sending them any more emails because they are trying to work through this pile of backed up applications. And they said every email we send them is only going to slow it down. And we need to maintain that relationship with this department, with this branch. And we completely understand it was not that particular branch. It was just too many circles. It was like the sudden unexpected storm that came and hit us. And which country would like to lose? In fact, the institutions are all livid with rage, and they're also kind of up in arms saying we lost $35 million or $40 million because of this loss. Which country would like to lose revenue like that? So that is where the problem is, guys. So I'm asking each and every one of our clients to please be patient, understand the situation. This is not something that AJV created for you. This is just, in fact, I think we are lucky to have got about 5 or 6 visa approvals over the last 5 or 6 days. If you go to our Facebook group, there are people who've been getting their visas coming and thanking us and saying, hey, look, thank you so much, team. I finally got my visa and stuff. So that's the situation, guys. So all I can request you is kindly be patient. If you want us to provide you with the email addresses of senior people inside immigration department, we will share that with you. You write directly, but we have been requested not to write any emails, and we will need to respect it. So all I can ask for is your patience and understanding, and know that it is so much better to wait a little longer and get a visa instead of trying to push them, and in their frustration they just decline your case, and then we are just creating an even worse problem than what is the current problem, because the current problem is only a delay, but a decline is a terrible problem, and that gets really really bad. So it's for you guys and girls to now balance whether a delay is okay or a decline is what you want. So okay, so kindly bear with us, guys. And unfortunately, like I said, I wish I could do anything something more, but the most I could do was get on a plane and go from halfway across the world to meet the head of immigration, New Zealand in Mumbai, and practically plead our case and say, hey, look, we would really like it. And she requested a few things from us, and we are respecting that. And if required, I'll get on a plane and again and go back and meet them. But from our side, we have done everything that we can do. So, like I said, pretty much, hoping that things will turn around quickly. And it is a good department. It is a very nice department. I have worked with them for the last 15 years, and they have the resilience built into them to understand that there is a crisis. And I'm sure even as we speak, there are more and more people working in Wellington and different parts of the world trying to address this particular problem. So let's give us this little bit of time. And in the meantime, because it's your personal situation, try and deal with it as best as you can, guys. Like I said, we're just the pilots caught in the storm. We cannot make the plane stop shuddering right now because we simply can't control the storm outside the plane. All right. So thanks for your understanding. Sorry about that long speech, but I know I'm feeling pretty bad as well because uh, it's one of those unfortunate things that I actually feel very emotional about the plight of my clients, and I think so does a lot of my team. And we understand your pain, but it's just one of those helpless situations where we are simply not able to do anything. So okay, so yeah, but we continue to keep that gentle pressure and hope. And It doesn't mean that AJB suddenly dropped its quality or its level of service. Like I said, we have to be respectful of a government department and you as our clients, and we are right in the middle of that little thing. So we are trying to do it as best as we can. All right, cool. Sorry guys, that was a very very long one, but like I said, this was getting to be kind of out of control proportions, this delay, and it's kind of not nice for me to be sitting here and starting this on this note, but I had to really explain it to all of you and tell you where exactly the problem was. All right, and from our side we did everything, including going to Mumbai and meeting them and putting our request forward. All right, cool. Okay. Sejos Korea, Kira, nice merchandise. Any plans to put them on sale for AJV students? No, Sijo, we are not going to sell them to AJV students. We're going to give them free of cost. In fact, I can't turn this laptop around and show it to you, but I carried back 2 boxes with these t-shirts from India. We got them printed and, done in Bombay. One of my colleagues, Jyoti, did a fantastic job of getting them done in a jiffy. And I put them all on the plane and I brought them back. In fact, I had a bit of a problem with the customs. They were like, "What the hell are you doing with 200 t-shirts? Are you a guy who sells t-shirts?" I said, "Definitely not." I said, "I'm a licensed immigration advisor and I run a company which deals with international students. And so I'm just getting these, t-shirts to distribute it to our students all across New Zealand." So, hey guys, all you AJB students, clients, you're soon going to get this beautiful black t-shirt with a nice silver fern and the logo of your very own company. All right. So, Sijo, no, we are not selling it to AJB students. AJB students will get it free of cost. I just got back. I'm still settling down, so I didn't have the time to, start sending it out to all our students. But I hope to actually, go and give to it to our students as much as possible personally. In fact, next month I'm planning a very interesting adventure with one of our students called Nicholas. I'll talk about it a little later, but I hope to go and meet a lot of our students and surprise them and give them their t-shirts and check they're doing all right. Okay. All right, Sijo. So yeah, absolutely. You're going to get your own t-shirts as well very soon. Okay. Cool. Shamlal says, "Hello, Arun. I have already shortlisted some courses, and Catherine from AJV is helping me with the process. However, I'm confused between level 7, 8 PG diploma as I want to do networking as a major. Please help." All right. I mean, see, Shamal, if I can call you that. Uh, um, so the in New Zealand we have those levels of education. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is normally certificates, and then 5 and 6, which is normally diplomas. 7 is normally graduate diplomas and bachelors, and 5, 6, 7 normally becomes the bachelors. Year 1, year 2, year 3. So that's what happens. Guys, if I keep looking down, I'm just checking out my phone to see what messages my team is giving. So don't think I'm kind of having I'm watching some movie somewhere else while I'm talking to you. So, and then 8 is postgraduate diploma, Shamal, and 9 is masters, and 10 is PhD. So basically, the if you go to the NZQA website and if you search for what is the description of each of these levels, it tells you what exactly level 7's capabilities will be, what level 8's capabilities will be, so on and so forth. But for you as an international student coming into New Zealand, my advice would be to opt for a level 8 course, because I'm not looking at so much from the capability perspective, but from the immigration perspective as to how many years of post-study work visa you will get. So if you do a level 8 or a 9, then you will be eligible for a 3 years post-study work visa. Whereas if you do a level 7, which is a graduate diploma, uh, uh, and if you do it in Auckland, you only get 1 year. And if you do it outside Auckland, you get 2 years of post-study work visa. So I encourage anybody who's got the right English ability, because for to get into level 8, you also need to get a higher English ability in your IELTS or your PTE. So that's something else that you will have to consider. So if you have the bachelor's and you already also have a good English, and I think from the way you've written your query, I think you have good English anyway, Shamal. So I would strongly recommend you choose a level 8, because it's not only at a higher level of academic achievement, but it will also end up giving you 3 years of post-study work visa. So that would be my sincere suggestion. Would there be a lot of difference in the study itself? Not really, because they're almost adjacent to each other, 7 and 8. But like I said, from an immigration perspective, it will give you an extra 1 year of post-study work visa, which could be, yeah, okay. Uh, So it could be, something that. One sec, guys. My video stopped on the group. So I'm going back live on the group. Okay. So it's I think level 8 is good if you get the required English skill. If it can't get it, then level 7 is fine. And I would strongly recommend do it outside Auckland because you'll get 2 years post study work visa, which in itself is a long enough time. If you're really good and you've already seen the uh, feedback we've given to you, Shamal, not only from myself but one of our students. Karan is actually not one of our students, but he is now part of the AJB family. He came through some other agency, but he likes us so much he wants to hang around with us. So we love to have him with us as well. Karan is somebody who also did a networking course and is now happily employed in New Zealand. And I was following the chat and he said, "Hey, look, if you want to talk to me further, have a chat." So talk to Karan, and I think. Uh, my recommendation to you would be if you get the English, go to level 8. If you don't get the English, stick to level 7, but do it outside Auckland so that you get a 2 years post study work visa and continue to speak to Catherine. Because she is a very competent advisor and a very good friend of mine and colleague of mine, and I'm sure she will, do the process properly for you. All right, cool. Okay, and I'm just going back to read some of the messages. Okay, I'm going to keep scrolling. Guys, I'm going live from 3 or 4 different places, so sometimes I might drop off because I'm going live from my YouTube channel, AJB Global YouTube channel, my Facebook, AJB Global Facebook page, and also from our group called NZ Options. So sometimes I might drop off because I think I'm streaming too much, but thankfully, I have a very good laptop. I have a gaming laptop, and my broadband is not too bad. So I think it hangs in there quite bad. Nathan Nitu says, "Sir, is it difficult to get PR now?" Some of my friends are saying like that. Your friends are incompetent, Nitin, and that's the reason they're saying that to you. Any guy who is competent, none of my students say that. They're all coming studying, getting into good jobs, getting their required salaries, and going on to residence. If your friends are saying that it's not easy to get PR, then my suggestion is change your friends, and speak to somebody, make AJV your friends, and I think you'll get more confidence and the pathways to attend your residency. Okay. Right, and Pratibha says, I wanted to thank you and your team for guiding me through, and I'm flying on the 4th for my master's at UC. Sonia has been extremely helpful. Hey, Pratibha, thank you so much for your awesome feedback. So this is the reason we exist, we exist for clients like you, Pratibha. And it's such a pleasurable moment to hear that back from you saying thank you for all the work we've done for you. It's been our pleasure. And, we exist only because of clients like you. You're going to a wonderful university like University of Canterbury, which is one of the best universities in the world. And so I'm sure you will, and you're going for a master's, which is a fantastic level. So all the best, Pratibha. I'm so glad we could play a small role in your journey. I promise you that role will not stop now that you're going to be in New Zealand. We are going to continue that journey with you. And I hope to come and see you in Christchurch after you land. And we'll go out for a cup of coffee and have a chat. And I'd love to know more about your background and what your future plans are and share my 2 bits for whatever it's worth it. But how we can take your thing back. And thanks for your feedback about Sonia as well. Yes, she's a wonderful colleague of mine. And yeah, thanks for your feedback that she did a good job with you. All right, cool. Okay, so Navneet Maini asks, hello, sir. How many chances are there for interview? I have completed my 12th in 2018 in arts streams, and now I'm going to study cookery course level 5 in Hamilton NZMA. Navneet, you have not mentioned if you're working with us because Navneet, my team has also not mentioned anything, Navneet, although you have already given your phone number, so I guess my team will get in touch with you. But yeah, I mean, there is no problem in somebody with an arts background getting into cookery because it's a good field, and if as long as it's a genuine passion inside you and you want to be a good chef, why not? In fact, today I was reading up on one of my ex students called Sharfuddin, who also came to New Zealand and did a course in cookery, and this guy is now working with the New Zealand Navy. He keeps posting beautiful pictures on his Facebook with his wife on the ship and in his beautiful naval dress and in his kitchen and on the ship and stuff like that. So good scope for cookery. So as far as number of chances of interview are there, if you're working with somebody like AJB, we will prep you, so and prep you in the sense not to coach you to say the wrong things, but to say the right things, and why you should why you want to be in New Zealand and stuff like that, and what your future plans are and stuff like that. And so, based on that, of course, so we have a 91% visa success rate, and we are trying to take it up to 95% visa success rate. And this year, I think we're going to be helping about approximately 600 students to come to New Zealand. So, yeah, I hope you're working with us, Navneet. But if you're not, yeah, please do consider working with AJV because there are plenty of advantages. The least of which is that you'll get this beautiful T-shirt once you land here. But jokes apart, there's a lot of support we provide to our students. So please do consider working with us, Navneet. And it's never too late, guys and girls. If even if you got an offer from some other agency through some other college, have a chat with us. And we are not people who will, unnecessarily steal people from somewhere else. Because, like I said, we are very picky and choosy about the kind of people we want to work with. And if we detect that quality in you, and we think you're good enough for New Zealand, we will then decide to work with you. And if you're good enough for New Zealand, and if you're coming to New Zealand without right support, then we will definitely encourage you to try and work with us because then you have the advantage of, having onshore support from somebody like HAV. And, we're about to set up a nice, good office in Hamilton, and uh, Mary and myself and Virginia, who is an ex-immigration officer and who works with us now as our onshore customer service manager, and Nicholas, who is our part-time employee, but is also one of our students who keeps doing all these wonderful videos for us. We're all going to be working out of that office in Hamilton, and it'll be like the little den for all AJV students to come and hang out and have chats. I promise you right now, even before we set up the office, that all AJV students can walk in without an appointment. I promise you that. Okay, cool. All the others will have to take appointments. We might even charge you. Okay, cool. Next one. Prakash Bhattarai, can you please let me know how the scope of digital market in New Zealand is? I think it's very good, Prakash. We haven't shared your number. I would really appreciate if you can share your number. But if you go to my YouTube channel, go to YouTube and look for Arun Jacob on YouTube. This face will come up, and look for a video I made specifically about the scope of digital marketing in New Zealand. But I think it's going to be good because hey, look at us. Right now and this is the standard answer I give every time somebody asks me about digital marketing in New Zealand. I've said this so many times it almost comes by rote now. I say, look at us. We are sitting and talking to each other on Facebook and YouTube, and isn't this the niceness about digital? And that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting and talking about New Zealand and about the services we provide and the great education and future you can have here. And I'm doing it through the digital medium. And why? Because New Zealand, being a remote country, has to use digital, marketing quite effectively for us to take our products and services to the rest of the world. So, absolutely good scope, Prakash. You'll need to share your number with us so that we can kind of talk to you more and give you more information. All right. So, Afzal Hussain, I have completed my master's in structural engineering, not interested in PhD. What are my options to study route and other alternatives for immigration? Hey, good question, Afzal, actually. Obviously, you could consider doing another master's or you could consider doing a postgraduate diploma. Does not matter if you're going to go for a postgraduate diploma after having done a master's because from your number, I'm thinking you're based in India. The level of study and education in India and New Zealand will be significantly different. So even if you have done your masters and if you're kind of stepping down one step and coming to a level 8 postgraduate diploma, I think that is a good option to consider because, like I said, the learning will be significantly different. So, so we would still be able to, convince a visa officer why, it's important for you because we can also talk about the papers in that course and why it would make more sense for someone like you to, kind of to get it onto your CV and get that education. So I understand why you don't want to do a PhD. PhD is not everybody's cup of tea. It's only for a few people, and I respect the fact that you're out there and saying, "Hey, look, I'm not interested in a PhD." Fantastic, that's great. And Yeah, that could be one of the things that you could consider, Afzal. In fact, yesterday I was talking to one of my ex-students. He called me actually. He texted me. Called Sadik. Sadik is also from India, and he also did a course in I think construction management or structural engineering. We'd be happy to connect you to him, Afzal. Have a chat and Like I said, you can definitely look at the master's or another postgraduate diploma. As far as other alternatives for immigration are concerned, again, as I keep explaining in practically every video and live session of mine, it is almost impossible to get direct migration in New Zealand now, because there are two important rules, that out of which at least one needs to be ticked off. Number one is that you will need to have an offer of skilled employment or be in skilled employment in New Zealand. Or number two, you should have studied in New Zealand for at least 2 years and have a master's or a PhD. And unless until you do not tick one of these boxes, you will not be eligible for a direct skilled migrant category. So at the most, even if you do get the 160 points, which is the current, selection point, you might be able to get something called the skilled migrant category job search visa. So yeah, that might be a possibility. But again, a lot of people, that's kind of quite tricky because you're coming and working under pressure. So the study and settle route is actually something I personally endorse, and I think that's the reason the government of New Zealand also set up that policy in such a way that some of these international students who come and contribute their very valuable revenue to our economy will also go on to become our future workers and residents and citizens. So I think it's a beautiful structure set up by the government, and we love promoting this, and that's what makes us happy as well. So thanks for sharing your number, Afzal. We'll get in touch with you, and we will take it forward from there. All right, cool. Rahul Raghavan says, hello, sir, client of AJV. Thank you, Rahul. Always a pleasure to meet my AJV students. What is the procedure for getting PCC from passport office and waiting for offer letter from RI Institute of Canterbury? Can you tell the time period of offer letter? Okay, Rahul, I'll not waste my time trying to give you minor details like that on a chat like this. And my team just gave some feedback, Rahul, that you also got an offer from SIT as well, which is Southern Institute of Technology. So we're waiting for the offer. But as regards PCC, and I think it's just a minor matter, speak to your case officer, who I think is Anne D'Souza, fantastic colleague of mine, or speak to Jagrati, with who another very, very good colleague of mine based in India. Speak to them, and I'll tell you the process for the PCC. I don't want to waste my time because I have only an hour here. But do speak to them, and they will guide you through that. And as far as your offer from RI is concerned, I'm certain that's also on the way. I'm sure it will come to you very, very quickly. All right. Right. Lokesh Patel asks, what's the scope of Masters in Applied Microbiology from Otago University? Please do reply. Lokesh, what a lovely course choice, my friend. I think it is fantastic for two reasons, because three reasons actually. Not only are you looking at a good level of course, Masters, fantastic. That's the kind of students we want. You're choosing a fantastic course like a subject like microbiology, also something we want, because as a country, because we not only, besides the um, uh, you know long-term skill shortage list of New Zealand, there's another list called the identified future growth areas of New Zealand, and in that microbiology, which would come under biotechnology, would be included. So great choice about that subject. And Otago University, what do I say about this university? One of the best in the world. I think it is the oldest university in New Zealand. I had the privilege of being going to that very, it's a hallowed dining room in Otago University, which was like going into some, old English king's dining room. And, I was, treated to a fantastic lunch there by the then international manager of Otago University. I think great choices. Scope of masters is fantastic because, as I told you, microbiology and biotechnology is an identified future growth area in New Zealand. Bear in mind, we are also a massively dairy orientated country, and in an industry like dairy, microbiology plays such an important role. So I think, yeah, you're definitely coming to the right country to do the right course at the right level and from the right university. And I hope you're also working with the right people, because once you come here, it'll be good for you to have us as your support system. My team is telling me that Catherine is still waiting to receive your documents, Lokesh. So please send your documents, and we would be delighted to start your process. And I hope to see you in Otago at Dunedin, which is the city where Otago is. All right, cool. Prakash, I've already answered. Manna Sukhet. Hi, sir. I am going to quickly check my messages from my team to make sure that I've not missed anybody. Team, if I miss anybody, just ping me and I'll try and try and get back to those questions again. Okay. Manna Sukit asks, Sir, hi, sir. I've completed my MBA on 2015 and had 2 years experience from MNC company and accounting stream. Now I want to apply graduate diploma course in accounting, IELTS 6.0. Okay, cool. Hey, Mana, I think, yeah, I mean, you've graduated, you've done your MBA, and you have 2 years of work experience from a good company. MNC obviously is a multinational corporation. So you've done well in your career. You've joined a good company, and you also worked in the accounting stream, and it looks like you want to get in and kind of consolidate in that particular stream. As I've already told some time back in this broadcast of mine, if you are looking at a graduate diploma, my recommendation would be to look outside Auckland, because then you will get a 2 years post-study work visa, and the longer you have on the post-study work visa, obviously your chances of getting a relevant job and being able to apply for further work visas or even a resident visa goes up quite significantly. So that would be my recommendation to you. But hey, look, Mana, I think good course choice, and another one of my cliched. I've done this so many times now. This is my 55th live broadcast, guys and girls, by the way. So I could probably wake up in my sleep and start doing a live broadcast now. But anyhow, so as one of my cliched things I say in my live broadcast is that every society needs certain professions, whether you like it or not. You require priests, you require to get people married, and if somebody dies, to bless them before they are thrown into the grave or burnt or whatever. And you require lawyers, because people will fight and disputes need to be settled. And accountants is another thing that every economy, every country requires. So I think you'll do pretty well. And try and choose a course which will also help you to get the required registrations locally here in New Zealand, which will help you to kind of move into a career going forward. All right. Cool. Jagdeep Jaggi asked me a question, but there is no phone number, so I will not be able to answer that. Jibin Patel also asks a question, and it says he already spoke to Sai, and that's why I'm going to answer this. So because he's already been in touch with my team. So Jibin Peter says, I'm planning to go for supply chain level 8 engineering graduate with no job experience. Had a chat with Mr. Sai. Would like to have your advice on this, sir. Thanks. Jibin, why do you want to get into supply chain management if you're coming from an engineering background with no job experience? Engineers are in skill shortage here in New Zealand, irrespective of, you haven't mentioned what branch of engineering you come from, whether it's electronics or mechanical or chemical or whatever. All kinds of engineers are in the long-term skill shortage list of New Zealand, and we are desperately trying to attract good engineers into our country. And you already have an engineering background, and you want to drop that, and you want to get into supply chain, which is a completely new subject for you. Yes, supply chain, one particular profession, is also there in the long-term skill shortage list called the procurement manager. But like I said, that's more for people who already have certain experience in supply chain management, and you're a fresh engineering graduate jumping into a supply chain course and then hoping to crack. I don't know. I mean, I would be very, very apprehensive to, suggest you to get into. In fact, I would say don't do it. I would say stick to your engineering. If you're a mechanical engineer, continue working with mechanical okay, and Sai is actually typing to me right now, even as we speak. Jibin, and it's confirmed to me. See, there you go. See, it says Jibin is from ECE, but has no, in experience in supply chain. So Sai is actually talking to me right now, even as we are speaking, and he says he's already explained to you it's not a good choice as well. I completely endorse Sai's decision on this, and Sai is one of my senior team leaders, by the way. He actually came. Where I'm sitting right now, he was sitting because they have a pool table behind which you guys can't see, but we were all playing pool and having a few beers. So Sai was sitting right here in the same chair, a couple of months back, and so yeah, Sai is one of our senior people who's got a lot of experience of working with young students like yourself. He's been in New Zealand, so he knows what he's talking about, and he's been with me like forever. So I think his advice is absolutely perfect, and I would absolutely say exactly the same thing to you. Stick to engineering. We need engineers in this country. Yes, we also require procurement managers, but only if you're experienced and have those SIPs, and all those kinds of qualifications which would make you a professional in the supply chain. So just don't jump into supply chain because some idiot somewhere told you, oh, but you know what, supply chain managers are in shortage in New Zealand. Yes, but only if you are experienced. But engineers, even if you do a basic course, you could start off at a basic level in any factory anywhere. So I think you are letting go of a big weapon in your hand like engineering and trying to take hold of something else about which you have absolutely no idea. So I would say listen to what I said and continue with your engineering. All right, cool. Next question is from Vikas Yadav. I think there was a message about Vikas. Okay, okay, because there is some feedback about you, so I'm going to read that before I answer your question. All right, so mm, okay, cool. Because it looks like there is a bit of an issue with your IELTS. That's what my team tells me. But anyway, your question is, sir, I did MSc from India and having 1 year experience in food industry. Fantastic. Now, what is better to do, PG diploma or MS again from New Zealand? And what is PR scope for food technologist in New Zealand? Contact me, and you've given your number and you've given your email. And I believe because my team is already in touch with you. First and foremost, thank you so much for getting in touch with AGB. We really appreciate that. Second thing, what I like about your profile, food technologist, absolutely. We are again falling short of, like I was just talking about Jibin's engineering thing. Food technologist is another thing that we guys are absolutely dying to get here in this country. And every student of ours who has come and done a course in food technology has found jobs, has gone on to get residency and stuff like that. So definitely the problem it appears with us is that your IELTS is not matching up to be able to get into a PG diploma level 8 or into a master's level 9, because my team tells me that you only have 6 overall with one band, which is 5.5. Now, as you're aware, New Zealand is a very quality conscious country, and they will not change their rules for one student with us. And for you to be able to get into a level 8 program or a level 9 program, which is a postgraduate diploma or a master's, and I'm reading this out from the NZQI website, which is the New Zealand Qualifications Authority. You need to have an academic score of 6.5 with no band score lower than 6. And that's it. Once they have set that particular rule, that's what it is. They will not compromise on that. None of the, no, no. In fact, the institutions simply cannot compromise on it because they are governed by the laws of New Zealand Qualifications Authority. And if at any time in future NZQA does an audit and they come to know that, oh, they actually admitted a guy into level 8 or level 9, but he did not have that 6.5 with all bands and 6, they can technically shut down that particular institution. So no institution will take a risk like that for one particular student, because their only option would be to go in for writing your IELTS again or PTE and prepare. All it takes is like today I said I talk fluently about New Zealand education and migration, but I was always not like this. Practice eventually made me into this, kind of person who can sit and talk, very fluently about this particular topic. So likewise, apply yourself. I'd spend a couple of weeks and tell yourself, hey, look, I'm going to get off the bloody Facebook and I'm going to sit and learn my English and crack this damn. So we need people with that determination as well, because you're going to come into a battle. Going abroad is not an easy task, guys and girls. Don't think, oh, it's going to be a bed of roses. That's what we are trying to do. We know it is going to be a bloody battle, and that's why we are lending so much support onshore here in New Zealand, because we've been through it. I'm a migrant myself. Mary is a migrant. Virginia is a migrant. Nicholas, we know the kind of trouble we go through, and that's why we're trying to provide that support. But you guys also need to get into this with a lot of determination. So don't try to compromise on your English because you will simply not be able to get to level 8 or 9. If you're looking at a level 7, we could probably look at something. But again, level 7 means you only get a 2 years post-study work with, and there may not be any courses in food technology in level 7. So that could be another problem. So my sincere suggestion to you, because my friend, is please try and apply for your um, IELTS or PTE again. I'm certain you'll crack it with us. Okay, go for it with determination, and you'll crack the damn thing. Okay, cool. Radio. I have 3 years experience. Ronit Reggie. Ronit has not given me his number, so sorry guys. That's the rules of the game here. No number, no answer. Sorry. Okay, this is without a number, but I'm going to answer this because it's somebody from called Kienga Sarah, and she says, "Hi, I do appreciate what you do. May God bless you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. No number, but see, I can take compliments, but questions, no. Right. And Nitin Nitu says, "Hey, thank you, sir. I'm a fan of AGV. Thank you so much, Nitin. Appreciate that. I will join your team soon, sir. Thank you so much. We would love to have you come and join us. What about the MBA course in HR? Will I get PR if I choose MBA in HR course? Again, I'm not a big fan of people doing MBA, Nitin, because again, as a seasoned, business person who's been in business now for about almost 17, 18 years now, and I'm actually a first generation business guy from my family. Nobody else did business in my family. Nobody dared to do business in my family, but so I was sort of the guinea pig of the family who got out, and I think I'm doing reasonably well. My team tells me we are doing reasonably well. So MBA again is not something you do very early in your career, Nathan, because MBA is more for people with a few years of experience who can then get back into a classroom setting and kind of consolidate all that knowledge and kind of put it together. So that's what I would recommend. So what I would suggest, Nathan, is have a chat with our team, and because I mean, it looks like you're already in touch with the team, and so let's see, instead of an MBA, if we can get you into something a bit more specific, like a core area inside MBA, like in business, like marketing or accounting or administration, and that'll kind of give you a better chance of getting a job after you complete your course. And the route to a residency or a PR is to be able to get a relevant job after you complete your course. So that would be my suggestion to you, Nathan. All right, stay in touch with the team, and we will work with you. Like I said, we are not people who somebody walks in and says, "Oh, look, I've done my BCom. What do you suggest?" We don't say, "Oh, go do MBA." We are not people like that. We are gonna sit and talk to you. In fact, when I was in Mumbai, when not only did I meet the immigration department senior officers, but I also had a couple of days of fabulous time with my beautiful team. And I told each and every one of them, saying, in fact, we now have another very senior manager who's joined us in India. Her name is Tanuva, who is an ex-immigration manager from the Delhi branch, lots of experience, about 22 years experience. So she is now the country manager for India, and she's a phenomenally good professional. And she made a very valid point, which kind of struck me right away. And she said, "I am not bothered about the activity. I am bothered about the outcome," which was brilliant. So we kind of gave a directive to all our team members, especially the people who are interacting with all your clients and students and everybody, saying it is not how many calls you're making in the day; it's the quality of how much time. Like, see, I'm sitting here for a whole hour and kind of keep going through these questions and answers one after the other. And so that's what we told them. We impressed upon our entire team, saying it is about creating that relationship with you and working for your good. Why? Because that's our second priority. Our first priority is to ensure that New Zealand is doing well. Our second priority is to ensure that our students and our clients are doing well. And we can only do that when we speak to you at length, become your friends. I, in fact, told my team, make your clients fall in love with you. That's the level of interactions we want to create with all of you, because that's when we can kind of know really what's inside your mind and your heart about your aspirations, and that's what we would like to cater to. All right, guys, cool. So Nathan, please stay in touch with AJV, and we would like to fall in love with you. All right. Okay, there's a question from Swayam Unial. Hi, how difficult is it to get a job as a trainer with international fitness certification and no degree in New Zealand? Can you help out with the process? Very difficult, Swayam, because again, fitness is not a frank. I'm being very honest. It's not a place where there are a huge number of opportunities in New Zealand. And again, like I said, somebody who is not trained in New Zealand, I think a lot of people would not be very interested to work with a trainer who is not trained in New Zealand, because let's face it, fitness is a very personal thing, and I wouldn't want to trust somebody whose qualifications and credentials I cannot assess. So I think the best pathway for you would be to try and do a course in New Zealand, in your area, and then get your 1, 2, or 3 years post-study work visa, and then you can go into the market saying, "Hey, look, I have a certificate or a diploma or a PG diploma or whatever in fitness and certified here in New Zealand." And that's when your clients will trust you. But otherwise, especially the Western world is very, very finicky about their health and fitness. And I think that you'll find it very difficult to break into the market unless and until you have some kind of local credentials. And the best way to get a local credential would be to get a local qualification. Simple. All right, Swam. So I'd have a chat with our team. Check to see if there are some options for you. I mean, again, we are not people who will pounce onto you and say, "Oh, now that you've spoken to us, you have to go to New Zealand or we'll file a case." We are not people like that. We get, only yesterday we were counting how many inquiries we get. Without any advertising, we are getting about 120 inquiries every day just through our Facebook, our YouTube, and everything else that we are doing. And we are talking to all of them. Not everybody is going to land in New Zealand. We know that our job is to be sincere, give you the best information possible, and then after that, if you are able to, because it's not easy to go. What's There's a lot of money involved, time involved, effort involved, and emotions involved. So we understand it's not an easy decision for a lot of you, but do listen to us. Have a chat with our team. As I told you, our team now has instructions to engage with each client at a more meaningful and deeper level, and kind of have good knowledge based discussions. Gather the information. Maybe it will work out for you. If it does, great. If it doesn't, so be it. Share our videos and tell your friends about the great job that AJB is doing, and we'll still be very, very thankful to you. Okay, guys, before I keep forgetting, that's something you guys all have to make a note of. Okay, let me see. Oh yeah, right, yeah. So in case you guys want to get in touch with us, that's what you do. If you're based in India, which is where the majority of our clients are coming from at the moment, please call that toll-free number on top, and you will get connected to one of our awesome advisors. And in case you're not from India and you want to get in touch with us, drop us an email to info@ajvglobal.com. And if you're already based in New Zealand and you are looking for further support with your future visas and your resident visas and stuff like that, kindly get in touch with my colleague Mary, who is working, I think, 9 to 9. Poor girl, I tell her she's pushing herself too hard, but she's a workaholic just like me. So, yeah, all good. Okay. Sunando Basu. Hello, Arun. We are AJV clients. Thank you, Sunando. It was very good to see the new testimonial about a student getting visa in 4 weeks. Thank you very much. Um, I'm glad to see that you're following the activity on the Facebook group, Sunando. Yeah, it's quite active, isn't it? I think, and every day we're getting about 25, 30, 40 new people saying we want to join this group. So good. We're very happy about it. Uh, do you think this is a good change, especially after your meeting with the INZ officers in Mumbai, and we can expect for lesser waiting time? So, Nando, I don't know if it was an effect of that. It would be very improper on my part and very immodest on my part to claim that because of that meeting, this change came about. I don't think that would be right. But yeah, I mean, obviously, every small effort does matter. And I sat with this head of immigration and told her, I said, I'm part of your team. My team and we are all part of the same team, New Zealand. You're just the government entity, but we are all working for what? Eventually, we are all working for that. We are all trying to create a better New Zealand. So maybe we, touched a chord somewhere. I don't know what it is, but more than that, I think they're also been working. There's a lot of big bad publicity about it everywhere. Not only in New Zealand, but I think it's now gone international as well because all countries are in competition to get international students, and the moment they see that somebody is weak in a particular area, the others will try and take advantage. So I actually even saw it reported in Canada and a few other places. So yeah, I think they're working very, very hard to fix it because it's a big revenue loss for us as a country. So, and we would hate to lose that money. So yeah, I think that's what is happening, Siddhanta. Thank you so much for choosing to work with HAV. Much appreciated. You're the kind of people we would like to work with, and you're the reason we exist as a company. So thank you, Sunanda. Pooja Aki, I think there was a message about Pooja. Pooja says, Hi Arun, Naveen is my husband, who is your client. He will be coming for his studies in January. When should we apply for student loan? What are my job opportunities? I have done my MA French. Interesting. background, Pooja, because am I French? Bonjour. That's cool. Pooja Aki, and you're saying you'll be coming to studies in January. When should he apply first? She didn't load. Okay, if it's coming in January, I would strongly recommend please apply at least 8 weeks before, because we've already all been hit by this massive delays, and there's been like such a drama and circus around all these delays. So minimum make it 8 weeks, okay, before and what about your job opportunities in MFH? It's an interesting one. Quite a lot of schools here teach French. So I can see that you could probably end up picking up a part-time or, kind of relieving kind of a job in some school or the other. I'm not sure if a teaching registration is kind of thing is there, but, potentially you could also be looking at doing some work in a university or something like that. There will be some translation bureaus as well who would be looking for people with your caliber. And on a worst case scenario, you can pick something that is not related to French, and probably spend some time, get yourself ingrained into New Zealand a little bit, and then you could possibly then start creating it possibilities in your particular area. See, when I came to New Zealand, I did want to come and set up a business, but I didn't get into business straight away because I took about 2 3 years to understand the setup of this country and how it is, how it works, how are the people, what are the pros, cons, pulls, pushes, all that kind of stuff. And so I did a job myself, for the first 3 or 4 years, and then once I kind of understood how New Zealand works and moves, is when I made my move to set up my business. So I would suggest the same thing for you. So be open to kind of coming in and doing any kind of work initially, and just get ease yourself into this society and into the fabric of this country. And then once you kind of acquire that bit more of confidence and you feel a bit more comfortable with your surroundings and the people you've met and all that, is when you can kind of go out and reach for your particular thing. All right, hope I answered that well. Okay, merci. I know 2 words in French, so actually I know more. Je m'appelle Arun Jacob. So Kienga, okay, has given her number and says, I lived in Saudi Arabia and Almarai dairy farms. How can I join New Zealand dairy field? Kienga, there is a very popular video of mine on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for how can I find a job and settle down in New Zealand, and it will explain to you why it is very difficult, and which is the reason we advocate the study pathway to be presented. But please go to YouTube, go to Arun Jacob and search for my channel, and just search for the most popular video actually. And I think that's got about 240 or 250,000 views so far. And I just speak the way I'm speaking now, and I just speak from my heart as always, and tell you guys and girls why it is not such an easy thing to find a job in New Zealand when you're not present in the country. So, and I put forward some suggestions there as well. All right, cool. Thanks, Kianga. I remember you're the one who gave me that wonderful blessings as well before. Thank you so much. Right, how am I doing on time? Looks like I'm almost done with time. But hey, team, let me know in case I've missed some of our AJV client queries, because I would like to answer them before I close this session today. As I keep telling everybody, this is essentially for AJV clients or those who are wanting to become AJV clients. So yeah, I mean, we are pretty selfish that way. AJV is all about us and our people and New Zealand and that kind of a thing. So we are very selfishly safeguarding our interest for New Zealand, for our clients, for our institutions, and for us as a company. All right, cool. Okay, my team is not telling me anything. There is a feedback about somebody called Tirumurti from my one of our team leaders saying that my colleague Nisha tried to call you, Tirumurti, but you're not answering your phone. Tirumurti, phones exist only for one reason, and that is when somebody calls to pick up and speak. There's no other purpose for a phone. If you've dropped your plans, pick up the phone and tell us, or just send a text and say, hey Nisha, you know what, I've dropped my plans or I changed my plans, and we will stop calling you and troubling you any longer. But hey, look guys, the least you can do is have the courtesy of talking to us, because we are good people, we are very very nice people. Even if I'm saying it myself, I would love to talk to you. And we are so passionate about New Zealand and creating a better New Zealand by attracting the best talent out of the country. In fact, we are planning to do a series of interactions in different cities across India. So where it is only by invitation, we don't want to let every Tom, Dick, and Harry walk in through the door and waste our time. So we want to kind of pre-assess some of these people who are going to come into those interactions, because we want good, meaningful interactions with the people, because we'll be coming to with our expertise and our passion for New Zealand. And we want people who are serious about creating a future. And we also want to see whether there's a good match between you and New Zealand, and if we can be those matchmakers. So we are actually planning to start putting New Zealand where it belongs, which is it is a very elite and quality destination. And unfortunately, I think some of the past marketing activities did not portray that particular image too well. But we at AJV believe that New Zealand is the Mercedes of destinations, and it is not a beat up Mazda, it is a Mercedes. And we want to take it back to that position, and we will do everything in our power and our ability, and we will do it laughing and smiling and in our own friendly and frank way. All right, as always. Okay, guys, my team tells me time is up, and I'm going to bring up that beautiful little bell which was gifted to me by my wonderful colleague Jinal. I don't know if she is watching this, but Jinal, if you're watching this, please continue to stay in touch with us. We are very keen to talk to you again as soon as you reach America, and see how we can, kind of work together again. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for today. And thank you as always. And guys, all AJV people watching, you are going to get one of these t-shirts. So start getting in touch with Virginia and text her or send an email. But I want to give one to each and everybody, anyway. So I have about two boxes there with about 200 different sizes, medium, XL, whatever. So all AJV students, very soon you'll get this wonderful t-shirts which you can wear with pride and say, I am Team AJV, I am the AJV funnel, which is family in the Maori word. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. As always, appreciate your support to my team and myself. And we look forward to working with you and welcoming all the good quality people to come and be part of this beautiful country called New Zealand, or Aotearoa, which is the land of the long white cloud. Good night. Pomari.